It was March time, so it was 30 weeks or so. Finished work, and on the day we'd gone in to get monitored, and they all came rushing in, and it was an emergency C-section, and it was done within like 10 minutes. It was exciting, but it was nervous because I didn't hear a cry or anything. You don't hear anything, so it was a bit quite shocking. And even though I could see he'd gone to the other side, I'd sent Alan, my husband, over to take a picture, and the oxygen hadn't been flowing because there'd been a placenta eruption. So he obviously didn't look like himself, so they had to take him straight off. So I just seen him as they went out, and then I didn't see him later. He was born at 10 to 3, and I'd probably seen him at midnight that night.
And Lucy Letby was working on the unit at the time. What dealing did you have with her?
So relaying the information to my husband, literally of what the doctor had told me that morning, of him, how he was getting on. Like I've said, she wasn't actually ACE's nurse, so she was covering somebody's break. Overheard our conversation and felt the need to come over and tell us that I'm sorry overhearing a conversation, but I don't like parents getting, you know, their hopes up too much because you never quite know what could happen. Now, as a parent, I absolutely erupted and was like furious, like, how dare you take that hope away from me? And then as a professional, I'm saying to the matron and to herself that it was completely inappropriate to take somebody. You can't speak to people like that. I'm there when people get news terminal illnesses. Never once have I ever said, oh, well, you know, I wouldn't hold out too much hope, you know, because everyone needs hope.
Do you think because you made that complaint about Letby, the next day she took out her revenge?
It made me feel quite guilty because there's 2 babies, or possible, in there, including my son, who could have been victims of hers. So I feel guilty a little bit that I may have drove her onto it or drove something to happen, a bit of anger. You just feel so lost. So I don't know, really, just it's horrific to think of, because you wouldn't think that nobody'd be capable of that.
People had their suspicions.
Definitely, way before Asa was born. So Asa was born in March 2016, and when alarms would go off during the night especially, there would be a phrase that people would use, colleagues that I know have used, and are sort of commenting on, I wonder if Lucy's working tonight.
What's your reaction now you know the guilty verdict?
Then a guilty verdict is brilliant for the people who have got some sort of justice. It doesn't bring anyone back, but it gives some people some answers, but it leaves many people who haven't had any answers. So that needs to happen, that needs to be looked into.
People like you?
Like me. There's many probably like me. And I'm hoping that me doing this is going to help somebody, and then for them to come and think maybe mine needs looking into as well, because they've got every right for them to be looked into. And if it doesn't come out and they're okay and they weren't involved, then great. But it needs to be looked at.